Glenn Lawrence, Jim McCool. Two names ring bells like gun shells drop, fool. We don't sugarcoat, nah, we seasoned with pain. Every bar's real life, not chasing no fame. They talk that woke game, but they mentally lame. We the ones that bring the thunder, put respect on the name.
They hold no bars, they hold nothing back. Say it raw, that's a matter of fact. Glenn bring the presence, dominant type. Gia bring that essence, elegant light. Culture need this collab, yeah, it's crystal clear. Feminist fear, red pillars beware. No agenda, we speak the facts. Speak truth, repel lies, make grifters collapse.
Mind sharp like razors, I dissect the fake. We talk purpose, power, how real men awake. She the queen with class, not the thirst trap type. He the king with scars, turn struggle to might. Ain't no gimmick or trend, this the voice of the wise. They spitting light through the dark, you can see through the lies. This that blueprint talk, masculinity raw. They bringing order to the chaos that the culture saw.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome back. This is another episode, part 2.
What's
with
up,
Gia
everybody? Back at it. We got some good stuff to talk to you guys today.
You know what, Gia? Like, this past week has been rather eventful on social media. Yesterday, I was in full troll effect. All right, I was pissing off everybody. Like that. And I think I told you, I messaged you. I'm like, I'm having way too much fun with this.
Yeah, Twitter is fun. It's a lot of fun.
But ladies and gentlemen, today we actually have a very special guest, and we're gonna be talking about some of the stuff that we've seen on Twitter this past week, and the war that it seems to be going on, the gender war, and why this is going on. The guest that we have, we're gonna bring up here in just a moment. These people are successful and thriving while everybody else is fighting and crying. Today's guest, we got IFBB Pro Claire Morrow, author of Fluffy to Fit cookbook and the Fluffy to Fit meal plan app. Her and her husband are coming in to talk about relationships, fitness, and all the other good stuff. Let's go.
Welcome, guys.
Hanging in there.
Nice to have you.
Thanks for having us on.
I've been following you for a while now. We've gone back and forth. I know I've shared you on my story, so my audience probably has recognized you. Tell me, I just told them a little bit about you, about your Fluffy to Fit books and how your husband is into fitness. Give the audience a little overview about your relationship, how long you guys been together, and some of the challenges that you've had in fitness.
So we have been together 25 years now, over 25 years, and married for about 21. I know. It's like, where did the time go? When you're happy in your marriage, it goes like that. I mean, it's just, it's fast. When you're miserable in your marriage, it drags.
Give them a round of applause, folks.
So yeah, we were not fit as what we would call a fit couple when we got together. We were probably a bit doughy and
a bit fluffy.
Yeah, a little bit. I like to say the word fluffy, you know. And we got into fitness kind of by happenstance, in the sense that my mom got cancer and passed away from cancer. And then like within a couple of months, his brother died of a heart attack. And I sat down with Randy one day and I said, look, I don't want to wait for cancer to come for me or a heart attack to come for you. Let's do something. Let's get our butts in gear, figure out what we need to do. And we literally ran with it.
Amazing.
I was gonna say, so you, Claire, you're the competitor, and Randy, are you the trainer?
No, I'm not. But when she decided to compete, I didn't want to be the fat guy taking in a bikini model to the show. So I decided, I guess I better try to keep up here. So
you wanted to compliment her. And that's Gia, you talk about that all the time where like, like if you let yourself go, it's disrespectful to your spouse. And in a sense, that's kind of what he was seeing, that like, oh, like I don't want to be the fat guy. Like I want to compliment her. She needs to compliment me. And they did it together. That's awesome.
Yeah, we don't want a Ferrari with hubcaps.
Yeah, I mean, it either goes one of two ways. Either the husband's going to be on board with it. He literally said to me, let me get this straight. You're going to get in the best shape of your life, and I'm going to have a problem with that. Or the men are insecure, and they don't want to do it themselves, and it goes the other direction. And luckily, literally, that's what Randy said to me. He goes, well, I don't want to be the fat guy dragging in the fitness model. That was his exact words. I fell on the floor laughing so hard when he said that.
And you're an IFBB Pro
it's kind of like a flex, right? Like, look, I'm a fatty, but I still got a hottie. But you want to be able to take off your shirt at the pool too, So
Yeah. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. If your spouse doesn't want to be
absolutely.
fit, then that's fine too. It's not everybody's goal, though I recommend it, especially since we lose so much muscle as we age. You
Yeah.
don't want to become frail, right?
Well, the
And
downside has been she got in really good shape. She became a fitness model, that type of stuff. But now I've lost my name. I'm just Claire's husband. Name anymore. So
Somebody did say your
so
name the other day, though.
so
You sound like my husband right now. That's what he always
I know.
says. I swear to
I
God, he
bet
says
there's
that exact same
similarities
thing.
there.
We've been at shows and they're like, "Okay, can you move your husband a little bit out of the way?"
okay,
Yeah,
so
I
this
know.
actually brings up a really good. This actually brings up a whole different talking point, but it's actually a really good talking point because guys feel that if they're in their wife's shadow, right?
Mm,
That they don't have any agency. They're just known as the purse holder, right? Like and and so it's like, well, then why is she with that purse holder? Like when people look at Gia, they're like,
Right.
they're like, Gia must be with some like, bodybuilding Jack Giga Chad, right? And then her husband is amazing dude, and they just know people like I wouldn't see that. And it's like, well, why wouldn't you? Like, so what is it? How does that dynamic work where you don't feel, Randy, like maybe like you're being emasculated or you're being overshadowed by your wife? Do
Well,
you
I've been in business for a long time, and I'm not really threatened by my wife becoming bigger and bigger. I think it's great. I've been supporting her, and I have gone to fitness shows and be holding her bag, and another fitness model say, "Will you hold mine?" And then another and another because they don't have somebody supporting them.
Right.
And
yeah.
in one show, I had 5 bags and an 11-year-old boy
I remember
standing
Damn, you
next to
opened
me. I
up a
don't even know who he
daycare
is.
too. You opened up a daycare.
I know. I
true
could.
story. I came back and I'm like, why do you have a kid in 12 bags? I don't
She
But
said,
a lot
he's
of
like,
men didn't support their wives, and
Right.
that's what you see it all the time. It shouldn't be that way.
He became the group
Randy,
husband, is
when
what
she
he
asked
became.
you, Randy, when she asked you, why do you have like 11 bags and a kid? Did you say, hey, did you think you're the only woman that liked me? I got 11 women now and I adopted a kid.
Oh, they were using me, believe me.
It's okay.
It's all right. So Gia, let's get into the topic. All right. And you guys, we would love for you guys to chime in and interact with us during this discussion.
Right.
Allie Beth Stuckey, known for her show Relatable, she says, she primarily is just talking to young women and women primarily. And she's Christian, conservative. She's part of the Blaze Network, Glenn Beck's company.
Oh, wow.
She was just recently on TPU, or she was on a TPU USA tour that Charlie Kirk's originally started, but after his tragic loss, other conservative speakers have decided to continue the tour for him in his memory. And Ali Bestecki was at the Louisiana campus and speaking over at the Louisiana school this past week on Monday. And she made a hot take. And it seemed like it was a hot take, but it was, but she was just reciting the 5 main topics that Charlie Kirk would talk about.
Right.
And then when she got to the second topic, it was just, well, I'll let you guys see it and hear it. All right.
That feminism has failed women. Second one, are you ready? Are you ready? Porn has weakened men. And Charlie was so good at talking about this and so good at talking so courageously and sternly and clearly to the young men. Here's what we know about porn and why it is so detrimental, not only to men, although it disproportionately affects men. Porn objectifies women and children. It commercializes sex, which is a gift from God for a married couple between one man and one woman, and it glorifies violence. It creates addiction and shame. It destroys marriages. It ruins your perception of other people. It is the legal loophole for sex trafficking. It is evil in every way, and it will destroy your life. And this is what I would want to say to men, and I hope that you hear it from strong men in your life, that men, we need you. And we need your masculinity, and we need your strength, and we need your boldness, and we need your courage, and we need those things to be harnessed for good. We need you to be solid pastors. We need you to be strong leaders. We need your voice. We need you to bravely stand up for the most vulnerable, to stand up for women and children and for the unborn, to raise a respectful ruckus for the things that matter. We need really strong men, and porn makes you weak.
So that clip has set a wildfire on
Mhm.
Twitter and
That-
other social media spaces for what she said. Now, I'm going to say
Yes.
this, right out the gate. I said this before. What she said wasn't incorrect. It was not
Mhm.
incorrect at all. She's very accurate. I have a friend, Gia knows him, Sterling Cooper. He's a former adult
Mhm.
film star. He goes around now and he speaks against porn because he realizes how much damage it has caused. And it's kind of like he's on his atonement tour. He's
Mhm.
so much against it now, and he feels so bad about his role that he has played in damaging so many young men or men in general who have consumed that kind of content.
Right.
So we know that it's wrong. We know that it has negative effects. So there's nothing that what she said is inaccurate.
Right.
That's true.
But a lot of men were mad at her for what she said. And I want to know, before I say why I think it is,
Mhm.
what did you guys look at when you saw that? Was there anything that you would be upset about, Randy? Or you could see like how guys would be upset about? Is there anything that she said there or didn't say that would, kind of get that response?
I think it's true. I think everything she said was true. And it's also harmful to kids. There's
Yeah.
16-year-olds that have porn on their phones, and they will never get a female in their life because they have porn. And so we're going to see the damage of all that too. So, yeah, it's bad. And we can talk about our view on marriage, how we like to have our stuff. But yeah, I can see where it'd be harmful.
But do you think that like the guys that are she got a lot of men
Well, yeah, I
respond
want
to her?
Randy, why do you think everyone had such a negative
How
effect?
do you think
What
the men
what do
got
you
mad?
see? Yeah, it was a negative. Actually, a lot of men got upset with what she was doing.
Yes.
Can you pinpoint what that might be?
It's the truth.
Well, mainly because it's true, I guess, but it's also a case of there's like two different camps. There's a alpha male out there, and then there's a lot of the beta males, and the beta males are all mad. Well, maybe the alphas are because it doesn't apply to them. You know, they
So
don't see it that way.
let me kind of present you a different perspective, right? So let me see if this kind of well, you may see this. Although what she said was right, porn bad, but she only is actually addressing men.
Mhm.
Who's making porn? Who are men
That's true.
beating?
True,
Who are
true.
men beating their meat to?
Well, and why are the men not looking at their wife? What is wrong in that relationship?
That's another dynamic. I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought that up. So
Because
think about this: if the guy is married and he's watching porn, why is his wife? Is she not providing him that sexual outlet, the intimacy that he craves, to the point where he says, "I don't want to bother her. I'm just gonna just watch this because she says she has a headache, or it is maybe she's made sex to seem like it's a chore, and he
Yeah.
doesn't want to like inconvenience her, so he does that. Could that be a reason, right?
Well, in a previous marriage, uh, in my marriage, my wife stopped having sex with me, and it went for a year, and it
Mm.
creates a lot of mental stress on the guy. He doesn't know what's wrong
Yeah.
with him. This is not happening. At the time, this was before Claire and I, so at the time there was no iPhones and there was no porn, so it wasn't any of that.
Well, there was, but not like we have it now.
Yeah.
He had to get it on the VHS at the liquor store, and it was behind that magazine
Shady.
rack. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
but
which one.
it destroyed a marriage. And I also have noticed online, I saw a comment made once about a guy not getting sex for a long time, and there was hundreds of men commenting that they hadn't had sex in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years,
Oh wow.
that type of thing. And
Yeah.
I thought it was just me, you know.
No,
I
no,
thought I was
it's
just
not.
being
It's
treated
not
that
just
way.
you.
I'm
I
gonna
told
I'm gonna comment on why her message was done improperly and
perfect. Thank you.
why everybody had such a negative reaction. She addressed one one side. Okay, she addressed
Yep.
the male side.
Right.
She did not address the actual root cause of the problem. It's almost as if government is saying, I'm going to take your money, right? How government taxes you and all the things that they do, and they keep on inflation, right? They keep taking your money. And what do they tell you? Well, just live more simplistic. When you say, I can't pay my rent, I can't eat, I can't feed my kids, what do they tell you on TV? Well, just live more simplistic, make sacrifices while they keep taking more and more money. That is what Allie did. What Allie did was she talked about one side, which is a symptom, which is porn, symptom. She didn't talk about the root cause. The root cause is more and more men in marriages are being deprived. I can't tell you how many women that I have spoken to over the years that basically told me, look, I don't want to have sex. He disgusts me. He's a degenerate. She doesn't prioritize her marriage. The lights have to be off. She lays there like a starfish. If he does try to push the subject, she'll bring up marital rape. She'll accuse him of marital rape.
Oh, wow.
When I don't even believe in that. When you say I
There's
do,
nothing.
you consent. Okay.
Yeah, that I do was consent.
She'll reject him over and over and over again. I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with men who have been in sexless marriages for decades.
Yeah.
Literally
I've seen that.
decades. And their wives have continued to gain weight, not just a little weight, like went from a size 2 to like
Size
300
45.
pounds in 10 years. Okay.
Yep.
With every single kid. So what Allie did was she was a typical pandering to the audience because her audience is female. And
Yep.
she pandered to her audience to get the claps, to get the hey, you're doing a good job, while not actually addressing the root cause. And so that's why
right.
everybody's upset. Another thing that is in there, another dynamic is in the Bible, especially since she's a Christian conservative, right? And she goes to church. In the Bible, it
You want me
clearly
to pull that
says,
scripture up? You want me to pull it up for you? All right.
it clearly says that women should never be lecturing men on how to lead. That's like, it's super clear in scripture. Like there's no wiggle room there. A woman should not be on a podium lecturing men. She could have easily just said something like, wives, are you putting your husband first?
Yeah.
Are you not saying no to him when he is trying to have intimacy with you? Like she could have addressed it that way. And then from there went into, we have to take into account of how we treat our husbands and what happens if we don't treat them well. What do they do? Where do they go after that? What are their options when you haven't given them sex? Yes, porn is bad, I agree. But why are so many men and why are 70% of Christian men turning to porn? Why is 80% of the OnlyFans subscribers married men?
So let me chime in here. I want to add a little bit more to it. It's like, look at this. When we remember like the whole war on drugs, we need to stop all the drugs. Did the government did the cops only arrest drug addicts? Or did they try to go after El Chapo and all the drug dealers and the cartels too, right? So, but what Allie did was basically just arrested all the drug addicts, all the porn addicts. You porn addicts are all bad. Hey, you drug dealers, you guys have a good day, you know? That's basically what it seems like.
And I think it's funny because like when you think about, we were saying this is a very feminist playbook thing, right? Women trying to speak for men. We know it's what feminism has done, but I think a lot of these wives fail to understand that the real issue with feminism is not that women are in the workforce. It's not that women are on a podium talking. It's not that women are in the media or public eye. It's that soon as you point a finger, as soon as you do the victim, I'm the victim, right? As soon as you play that and you point a finger at somebody, it is technically feminism.
Yeah.
That's really the core problem. So we have to stop being the victims. And that's what she did.
Right.
Oh man, we need you to protect. We need you to provide. Well, how are we going to talk about the women not even listening to their husbands? Because if a man's trying to lead and protect and provide, but you won't even follow what he says, how can he do his job?
Well, it's like, where's leadership at? What is the leadership? Because there's lack of leadership there lot. We see a lot of that, right? It's like the husband will say, like, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna do this. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go talk to Pastor so and so. I want to get his opinion about it." Well, right there, that she's not following his leadership. She's actually trying to overrule him by going to someone else, you know, as an authority rather than her own husband. But what I wanted to pull up here, because Gia brought it up, is the two scriptures that, Ali, I think, is failing at. And mind you, I have a degree in religion from Liberty University. I know I look like a motorcycle drug dealer. I'm not. So this is what the first one was in out of First Timothy, or is it Second Timothy? Sorry, First Timothy 2, right? It says a woman should learn in quietness and full submission. I do not permit women to teach or assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. For Adam was formed first, then Eve, and Adam was not the one deceived. It was the woman who was deceived and became a sinner. But women will be saved through childbearing if they continue in faith, love, holiness, and prosperity. Now, you don't have to be a Bible believer, but since Ali is, by her taking this opportunity like the bully pulpit, she in essence, she is trying to, one, assume authority over men and telling men you need to do better. And nothing wrong with what she said.
Yeah.
It's just she's not. It should have came from a man, right? It should have came from, a guy like your husband or myself or some other male speaker that could address that problem, because they actually know the struggle that men would have. The second problem that we
100%.
have, with what she said is that, again, she only addressed the drug addict. Never did she actually condemn or criticize women who make pornography. She could say, ladies, do you not know what you're doing? You are setting my husband up for a trap. You are luring him in, and you're causing our husbands to fall for you because you want money. Why don't you find a husband instead of trying to destroy our homes and our families with your porn? Or even go to the wives. Ladies, why are you not helping your husband in this area? Why aren't you seeking his needs and wanting to meet his needs there, so he doesn't have this temptation and struggle and end up falling into this addiction? That right there would have addressed all three sides of that problem: the consumer, the man; the creator, the dealer; and the enabler, the wife, who allows that temptation to take place to begin with.
I think a lot of women don't understand this, and you've got to realize you are your husband's porn. You're it, baby. And men, they are wired so differently than women, and a lot of women don't realize that. Men, having sex to them, it's like getting thirsty, and they're going to be thirsty every single day. So you're their only drink of water. But men also don't poison your well. Make sure that you
Mm.
treat your woman really well, like a queen. I'm gonna let you take it from here because you know what I mean?
Well, I want to be treated like a king. So the
Right.
best way for me to accomplish that is to treat her like a queen. And the man has to be first. We have to take that initiative and treat her like a queen,
Yes.
and everything else will follow.
So normally when people hear this, Gio, this is like where they come up with the servant leader model, right? They'll say this like, "Oh, you're gonna treat her like a queen, like you're gonna be a servant leader." But I know what he's saying, and I want to kind of differentiate between what he's saying and what
Right.
other people are saying. What you're saying, sir, you're like, I'm gonna set the tone of how this relationship structure is. I'm going to demonstrate how I want to be treated by the way I treat you. I'm going to show you that I'm going to give you, love you, respect you, and treat you with high regard. You are a priority. I am demonstrating to you how you should treat me, how I expect to be reciprocated in this relationship. Would you say that would be safe?
Yeah, that would be it. I mean, we want to hold her in such high esteem, just like Jesus loved the church. That's what we're supposed to love our wife like.
So what I
And
got
so,
from what they said was that both Claire and Randy don't wait around for the other person to make the initiative, right? They are
mhm.
they're doubling down on their responsibilities and they're doing what they have to do as an individual, and then that already sets the standard of what the other person is going to get back.
Well, Randy clearly pointed out that he set the precedence. He set the tone
Mhm.
he's like, I want to be treated like a king. Therefore, I'm going to treat her like a queen. And basically, what he's doing, he's like, I'm demonstrating to her my
Right.
expectations of how to be treated. So, yes, now they're both doing it, but he has informed her through his actions this is the standard here in this relationship. I treat you like a queen. In return, I expect to be treated as a king. And
Yeah, it doesn't work the other way. So it
yeah,
has to be the man initiated. He has to place her in that position.
And what do you do to treat him like a queen? What do you do exactly?
Oh, there may be a number of things. I mean, I do things other men probably wouldn't even think of, but
Like
ev-
turn down the bed.
like every night I turn down the bed like it's a turn down service. I want her to feel like it's special every night. So
mhm.
uh, there's lots of little things I'll do for her. I'll go wash her car every Sunday and fill it up with gas so that she doesn't have to be at a gas pump getting
Mhm.
gas. So just things like that.
And
That
what about
really,
you, Claire? What do you do? Like, tell me how you do that to make him feel like a king.
Everything.
Give me
I'm not
some
just
details.
This is actually a
not
really
talking
good
about just like
question.
housework or whatever, but yeah, because I'm gonna say it. Dick doesn't suck itself.
That is true. Now, if you get a couple ribs
great
removed,
advice.
I heard if you just get a couple ribs removed, I haven't tried it. I just heard about it, but you can.
No.
I've never had that
Oh,
done.
no.
No,
Marilyn
I
Manson.
try to
Marilyn
keep
Manson.
myself in shape, not only for myself, but also
Mm.
for him. I mean, yeah, he likes looking at me, but I like looking at him too. I'm like over there going, go do some hip thrusts. I like looking at your butt
Yeah,
too.
but
You know?
I see you cooking as well. Like you're big
Yes.
about cooking and just making the house feel like a home. I
Yeah.
think that that's important too.
Yeah. And women
But
do that. Women are great at that. The problem is, I think as you get older and with kids and all, you get busy and you don't prioritize yourself. And subconsciously, what happens is you end up picking off the kids' plate and husband's plate, and you end up putting more and more weight on. And before you know it, you're like, oh, I'm going to give myself some grace. But before you know it, you're up 10 pounds wondering what happened. And then it turns into 20 and 30 and 40. And some women end up, bigger than they want to be. And now don't want to have, they don't want to play, they don't want to have
I
sex.
talk
because they-
about this. I keep
Yes.
saying women, once they get past 28% body fat, their body becomes estrogen dominant. And when you become
Yes.
estrogen dominant, you basically have to suffer to get back, right? So I tell them don't get to that point
Don't
because
get to
once
that
you
point.
go there, it's very, very difficult and nobody wants to
is.
suffer to get back. So you're right. You can never get comfortable.
And you
so I
don't
want
feel good. Women don't feel good when they're that fluffy. We do not feel good about ourselves. The last thing we want to do is get naked, right? So
that's
That's a
actually what I
very
wanted to
important
bring
point.
up. So the part that you mentioned that, like, Gia, you said girls getting like what over 28% body fat,
Correct.
right? They're estrogen dominant,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So and as Claire just pointed out, like when girls get they're uncomfortable about themselves, they don't want to get naked. So that's
Exactly.
like a
Yeah,
that's
because
so
if you understand female sexuality has to be able to like what they see in the mirror before they
yes,
can actually feel comfortable in bed, right? With their
mhm.
that
husbands.
And that's why they
So
turn off the light. They start changing
correct.
everything in the
Correct.
bedroom to where
S-
nobody
It's
sees anything.
I say this a lot and people are like, what? Don't say that. And I'm like, no, it's true. There's a little
true.
bit of narcissism when it comes to female sexuality. They have to like what they see in the mirror. So that allows them, if they can turn themselves on by what they see in their own bodies, they can definitely turn on a man. Right.
Yeah,
So this is a
100%.
super, super important topic. We can probably do a show just on this alone. But I always
Yeah.
Yeah,
say
I
if she
want to
doesn't
go
like what
over
she
it.
sees, she's not going to be able to turn herself on, turn you on, or be fun in the bed.
So I
And
want to
before
just
you know,
lightly go over this part because she said that, Claire, you said there's things that you do, and this is something really important because guys, we know, like as Randy just pointed out, he knows what he does. Like we
yeah,
already kind of have an idea, what to do to help to try to show her and cater to her, take care of those needs. It's not just the basic, oh, I provide food and provide money and I protect you from bad guys. I say provision and protection, those two are just the basics, but there's so much more to providing and protecting than actually men really know. It's not just you're providing resources, but you're providing education because you're going to teach her things that she may not know. You're also going to
right.
provide her support. And when something is going on, you're there to help her out. You're the problem solver. You're the man. That's what men are, innate problem solvers. That's what we do. We problem solve, right? And then not only are you providing that, but you're also providing sense of security. You're providing love. You're providing correction when she's wrong. Hey, babe, you know what? That's not the right way to do that. I wouldn't do that if I were you. You
Yeah.
know, you should do it this way. Here's the correct way. And then also you're providing, confidence. Because she feels that you find her great and successful or beautiful in this, she's going to be able to, be able to believe that in herself, even in the moments that where she doesn't feel so hot about herself. She sees that, well,
But
man, he's head over heels over me. That helps her change that mindset and view of herself. So there's a lot more to provision than there's just, buying, the food in the house and stuff. In the
but
security, there's so much more to that as well. It's you're secure from making her safe from making bad decisions that she would do, keeping outside, influences that would be negative for her or the family
right.
outside as well, but you're also protecting her from yourself by making sure that
But
you keep yourself in check, right?
yeah, but
So
also when he does it, he's very good about not insulting me when he said, like, just today I was recording a video and he's like, well, I wouldn't say it like that. And he was kind of, I'm like, okay, why? And he told me why. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So I rephrased my sentence and it came out better. So men, just be careful how you don't hurt a woman's feelings. That doesn't end well either. This is where resentment builds up when you start hurting a woman's feelings. We're like freaking elephants. We don't forget shit. Okay. It gets logged in like a
you guys like
freaking
the best
file
lawyers
cabinet,
too.
right? And those files will come flying at you when you least expect it. The next time you get into a fight, you forgot my birthday, you motherfucker, or whatever it may be. And they're like, whoa, wouldn't you
Randy,
say
have you
never
ever
like a
forgot her
dry erase
birthday?
board? Do what?
Randy, have you ever forgot her birthday?
Never, never.
No. But you
Okay.
mentioned safety, security, and support. Those are things that men should do and should have. It should be something a woman feels when they're with their man. But our society's been diminishing men
Oh,
for decades now to
yeah,
where every commercial on TV makes the man look stupid, you know.
Yeah, he's like Homer
And so,
Simpson.
yeah,
yeah. So it's something you should do. It's what we should be teaching our kids, our sons. This is how you should be. You should be her safety, her security, her support. And so much of that has been lost. And so when the woman decides, well, you're not what I thought you'd be or whatever, well, yeah, everything has changed. They're
But we
taking these things
also,
away from men.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you, Randy. I just think that security and stability, right, is an illusion in today's world.
yeah,
Mm.
And women thrive, yes, on having their environment feel like it's safe. And a man can provide that safety and that stability, but only if she's willing to take his authority, if
true,
Yeah,
she's willing to listen to him. So if he
true,
says, I don't want you going out because I don't want you going out, he doesn't need to explain himself. I just don't want you going out because in his mind, he's trying to fix an issue. He already knows, hey, there's something not there right. That something can go wrong. So I need her to stay here. And if she tells him, no, I'm going to do what I want. You don't tell me what I do. And then goes out there and gets hurt. And then guess who ends up dealing with the consequences? Not her.
yeah,
yeah, and that kind of presents like this weird scenario that we're kind of seeing. And I want to see if
Mhm.
you guys have ever experienced this in your lives or in other relationships previously. But it's like, and I agree with Randy. Everything that Randy said that men are supposed to provide and do, that is 100%. I'm with you 100% of the way. I talk about that to my guys all the time.
yeah,
The other thing, though, I talk about, though, is that women will expect that from men regardless, but they make sure that men have no expectations of them. So it's like, you know, you have to do this. So a wife could stop being available to her husband sexually, right? If I stopped working because you decided you don't want to have sex, I still have to keep on working, right? I still got to pay the
yeah,
bills. I still got to provide for you. I still got to protect for you. But if you want to say, well, I don't want to have sex with you no more, but you still got
well,
to do all the things that you got to do. You still owe me these things. But how dare you expect me to owe you anything?
right.
That
And
right there is a problem.
women don't think it through. I don't think sometimes, in the sense that, okay, the scenario, they're fluffy, they're not happy with the way they look. And if you love your husband like you did in your vows in front of God, then get yourself healthy, not only for yourself, but for him as well. If you are willing, because if what's going to happen is you're going to end up divorced. Okay. This happens a lot. And now you're fluffy and you ain't going to get another man looking like that. And you know it. So the first thing you're going to have to do is lose 20, 30, 40, whatever it is, X pounds to get back in shape so that maybe you can try to get another. Maybe you don't want another man and that's fine too. But if do it for you and your husband first before you have to do it for a stranger. Does that make sense?
No, that makes
Absolutely.
perfect. the leadership, men, you set the tone, Randy, right? You set the tone, and your leadership is going to dictate how your wife is going to respond. If you have good leadership and she respects your leadership, and if you're competent, right, she is more likely to follow that leadership because you have proven yourself to be worthy of that submission that guys are wanting from their wives. We see it all the time. Guys like, women don't submit. Women need to submit. Well, are you worthy of submitting too? Have you
Yeah.
shown that you are consistent and that you check the boxes that you should be checking first before demanding or expecting submission?
It's a two-way street.
It is, and I think like we don't see that in a lot, especially today. And this is kind of goes back to the whole Ali Bestaki thing. There's this expectation of men. Men, we need your leadership. We need your masculinity. We need this and this from you. But
Yeah.
the funny thing that she didn't ask or even acknowledge is, well, what are the things that men need from you, ladies?
Yeah,
What do
yeah, it's
men
true.
need
And
from
society
women?
doesn't want to talk about that because it's a bit faux pas. It's a little bit, um, against the unwritten rules, if you will. Am I right, Gia? It was just it doesn't get
No,
talked about.
that's exactly the problem. There, she was pandering to females because that's what
Yeah,
sells tickets. And
yeah,
we
yeah.
have to take
Well,
into an account that it's not just in the churches, it's in motivational speaking, it's in entertainment, it's in
Yeah,
our music. What's selling tickets, what's making money now is pandering for an illusion of control. It's
yeah,
not what the way that is actually going to help relationships and couples and marriages, because in
yeah.
actuality, what, the husband holds the reins, the husband is in control. But that terrifies women today. Why?
It
Because
does, and I
women
don't know
want the
why.
illusion, they want the illusion of control. You see, it's feminism. Women want the illusion of options and control, so they will literally prolong marriage, prioritize career, marry a beta male just so they can believe in their minds that they have control.
And then they wonder why they married a pussy. I know. And that's the thing. But that word control, it's kind of scary to women, I think, in the sense that Randy never controls me. I do what I want to do. In fact, he's allowed me to be who I am. Any men that I've been with in the past would not have done what he has done for me. I can 100% say that with confidence. Um, and women just the word control just kind of freaks us out. We're like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to wear something, or I'm not going to be able to go work out. Or no, that's not what we mean, ladies. So don't think that's what we're talking about. What we're talking
Let,
about is the leadership role.
let me ask this. When you say control, because the only person I want to have control over is me. Right.
Right.
In every relationship that I've ever been in, I never sought control. All right. Now I think women always want a man that's in control, but not a controlling man.
Right. There you go.
there you go.
So
That's well
what
said.
is that? That the way I mean by that is that the man knows that he's in control over very limited things. He's in control what he allows in his life and what his actions are going to be and how
Yeah.
he's going to respond. That's the only power that we have. I don't have a power over another person. Okay.
Right.
I can't control them.
Right.
Now, the man has the control of the relationship, though, the foundation of it. This is the boundaries that I want my relationship in. This is the type of woman that I want to marry. This is the type of relationship I want to have. These are my relationship boundaries.
Yeah.
Now, you could do whatever you want within those relationship boundaries. But as soon as you step out of those relationship boundaries, well, then we're no longer in a relationship. That's not me trying to control you. That is me enforcing the boundaries that I'm comfortable with.
Right.
Right?
Makes
That's
sense.
not
Yeah.
controlling. So if a guy says like, you know what, I don't want my woman to, go out on girls' night out, that you could think that is him being insecure, and that's fine. But if that's his relationship boundaries, and she does that, and he says, okay, we're have fun, goodbye, we're moving on. That's not him trying to control her. That is him just enforcing his boundaries that
Correct.
that he
Well,
has.
Like
and a lot of us have had experience with that, where we've seen how bad some of these things are, where women go out on women's night out, that type of
Girl
thing,
not out.
and yeah,
Yeah.
girls not out, and those things don't end well.
Sometimes.
So I'm not a big fan of that. I think
Me
we
either.
I don't go out to the bar with guys on single night. I mean, when you get married, you give up that single lifestyle, you know.
Do you
So
think
from that,
married couples should have single friends?
depends on what you call a friend, I guess. I mean, we have single friends, but we don't. I don't go hang out with my single friends.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm pointing out, right?
Yeah.
Like you can have like single friends that you're cool with and may like come to a barbecue, whatever, but you're not going out with them. Like if you're gonna go with your buddies, you're probably gonna go with a bunch of buddies that are also married because you all have the same kind of keeping each other in check. It's better that way. It's like,
Yeah.
Well,
look,
and
we're not gonna put
we
them in any
allowed
situation that's gonna be, jeopardizing your relationship.
Right.
yeah, and we allow it to be something where I go to lunch with a buddy or she goes to lunch with a girlfriend of hers.
But that's
But
different.
as
You're not
far
gonna
as
go
going
bar.
out at night and stuff where it's single life, we don't do that.
Yeah, no, it's just
Yeah.
not. That's a disaster in my opinion. Just because things cannot end well, especially when alcohol is involved. And I don't drink much anyway for lots of reasons. It stops fat
And
loss.
when you've been married like us 21 years, you see relationships that do that and fail, and very few people make it this far. And that's part of the reason is because they treat their marriage like it's a part-time thing.
Right. Now we'll go out together as a couple with other couples, or they may be single couples friends. Where like Halloween, we went out with a single couple and a couple other married people that we know, and we had a blast. But we were together, right? So that's
Yeah.
different. That's we're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about
a
like
totally
without.
different dynamic. It's not like you're going
Yeah.
out solo. Let me ask
Yeah.
you guys this. I mean, do you guys like share like do you guys have come from like a religious background? Like you have like a faith that you know? Okay.
Not
So
really.
cool. Then this is gonna be really interesting because I know Gia wanted to tie it into religion.
Mhm.
Because this is where I'm thinking the problem is for Christian men. Because we mentioned Christian men are addicted, self-reporting to be addicted to porn at like 76%, 74%,
Wow.
right? And the lack of leadership. We talk about lack of leadership, right? This is what is being taught in these churches these days. And tell me if this sounds right. Men should not worry about whether their sexual needs are getting met or their dishes are cleaned or whether their food is made. They need to focus on serving their wife more.
It's a two-way street.
Well, it's
Would you say
got to be a
that would
balance.
be
Everything you do has
successful?
to be a balance.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Well,
can't
that's
be
not a
too
balance.
one-sided.
That's
No,
not
it's
balanced
not.
at all. That's
It's
what
not.
they're saying. Hey, guys, don't worry if your wife doesn't want to have sex with you, and don't worry if you don't have any clean dishes or clean food. You know what?
Right.
If you don't
No.
have time to worry about that, then you have more time on your hands so you could serve your wife more.
God.
Here's
Well,
I
What a
wanna
narcissist would say.
I want to touch on what's happening within the churches because this is why I don't like the servant leader model. And I have talked to enough people in the churches to know what they are teaching young men and women on the servant leader model is they tell men that once you get married, your desires, your needs, your wants go to die. And I've heard this enough pastors that actually have used this
that's a pretty
same
low bar.
Wow.
have used this exact line. When you get married, your needs, your wants go to die.
Oh my
So
gosh. No wonder
now
people
you
are
are
people.
a servant leader. And we are wondering why men are leaving the church. We are wondering why men are being turned away from marriage. Why are men saying,
Wow.
I'm never going to get married again? We are
Right.
teaching men that masculinity means servitude. And that's an extremely dangerous thing to be in. And
Agreed.
Well,
this is
how they're marketing it. Did you just present how they're marketing it, right? It's like, all right, guys,
exactly.
you need to do the right thing. You need to go out there and get married, have children, right? You need to serve your wife. Don't worry about whether or not she ever has sex with you again, or whether she respects you, or she does anything right for you. No, that's not important. Your job is to serve her. And you know what? She might divorce you, and she might take half. And you
Which
know
is
what?
why I don't like the happy wife, happy life thing, right?
And
I
if she
don't like that.
does, it's because you failed at being a good servant leader, right? And it's kind of like,
And
who's signing up for that?
let me tell you the series events because I'm really good at connecting dots. So first, what she'll do in the churches is a woman will be like, no sex until marriage, right? You see this a lot. Not until we get married are we going to have sex. And I mean, yes, if she was a virgin before, she never had sex, I can understand why that's important. Okay. But these women are actually have already had sex. These women have already been out there. They've already had their fun. And now they want to pull the whole no sex till marriage. So this is where I have a problem with it. Right. So they start off by weaponizing sex before marriage when they've already had sex. Then they go into, they stop, which we've talked about, Claire, they stop maintaining the attraction. So as soon as they get married, they stop all of a sudden. And there's actually funny TikTok videos of guys putting the ring on the finger and all of a sudden, no makeup, her hair is in a bun. She starts wearing sweats. She stops taking care of herself, right? There's literally funny videos out there. That's how
I've seen
common
them.
it is, right? And then from there, the next series of events is he tries to pursue sex and she starts pushing him away. Oh, later. Oh, I'm busy. Oh, da da da. You're being needy. Grow up. It's time to be a man. You know, she'll do these little jabs, right?
It
Then
takes
from
5 minutes.
as if he continues to pursue, some men don't. Some men just like move on to porn. If he continues to push, then she says, "Oh, this is marital rape." Oh, if I'm just going to lay here and just take it, that's like rape, right? She'll accuse marital rape. So now a man feels like he's walking on eggshells. He literally will not even ask her anymore. Like, Randy, you know, you've been through it, won't even bother asking. Like, once a man doesn't, like, if you told him no enough, he's not going to come back. Like, that's it. And then when he doesn't come back, what does he do? He turns, right? He turns to porn. Okay. A lot of guys will turn to porn. And then that's when she starts realizing, oh, I'm losing control because now he's not asking me anymore. Now he doesn't even care. Now he doesn't even hold her anymore. Nothing. The intimacy is gone. So now what does she do? Now she starts trying to regain the control. So what does she do? You're a degenerate. You're going against God. You have a porn addiction. You're a porn brain, right? She throws little jabs and she emasculates. And then before you know it, now she's leaving any woman at all that's sexy, that's hot, or that he notices. Now she's a whore, right?
Right.
Oh, she's leading you to lust. Now you know, look, this woman's a whore because you can't. No, now this is victim mentality. And I have seen this literal pattern. And it's like everybody, what I'm saying right now, I know you can relate because we've all seen it. And this is what's happening in the churches.
Yeah, wow, that's unbelievable. I mean, we are godly people. I love God. He's my best friend. You know, we used to go to church a lot. We don't so much anymore. I don't, and I'm one that I don't feel like you have to be connected with God. You know, for a lot of people, you know, I talk to him every day, and sometimes, hopefully, he answers back. I don't know, but yeah, that's crazy to me. I mean, men have their needs,
Randy,
women have their needs. It's a two-way street. Marriage has always been a two-way street. It should never be like that. And we were talking about earlier about things that you can do for your husband. Well, ladies, walk into the room naked out of nowhere. Just get undressed when he's in the office on the phone, you know, make it fun, walk in there naked. I've literally done that and videoed it, like videoed him and his reaction and posted it before. You couldn't see me, obviously, but it was a genuine reaction. He literally says, I gotta go. Put the phone down.
so Randy, like anything that I was telling you within that kind of connect the dots scenario, have you noticed that either with yourself or maybe other guys that you know?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised that 76% are on porn, and a little bit surprised they admitted it. That's a real surprise to me.
Right?
But
True.
but yeah, I mean, I guess it's all heading that direction in the sense that women don't take care of their man, but we all have to start with being best friends. And what ends up happening is you're not friends anymore. You know,
Good point.
you could have been best friends.
And now AI is going with these robots and stuff. And I can see the little thoughts bubbles coming up from men. Is like, how many holes does it have? You know what I mean? With the AI robots, the female ones.
Oh yeah, I've interviewed somebody that goes by the TFM, and he has sampled them, and he told me they're rather interesting. I got a video here because this actually addresses like everything we're talking about, but this video did not get very a well received response, and you know, because you guys seem to all agree with it. Tell me why this didn't give such a good response. Content in this video may trigger you if you're a pansy, a feminist, soy boy, a white knight. So if you require a safe space and you don't know the real definition of tolerance, I suggest that you turn off this video and go find Drag Queen Story Hour somewhere. You might enjoy that better. Christian women who habitually deny their husbands sexual satisfaction are inadvertently fueling the rise of adult content platforms like OnlyFans and indirectly supporting the porn industry itself. Congratulations, ladies. Consider this, that a striking 76% of Christian men admit to struggling to pornography addiction, and notably, most of these men are married. The statistic underscores a clear reality. Many Christian men are not receiving the sexual satisfaction and enthusiasm they need from their wives, prompting them to turn towards other outlets like porn. In their view, pornography becomes the lesser evil compared to an outright adultery. Thus, if women genuinely desired a reduction in pornography's influence and availability, the solution isn't shaming men for watching it. Instead, accountability must fall squarely upon the wives who withhold intimacy or offer it begrudgingly. By denying their husbands sexual fulfillment, these wives inadvertently push men towards the very content they claim to despise. Now, women may want to defend themselves by insisting, I never deny him explicitly. Yeah, okay. However, many fail to acknowledge that neglecting to take care of yourself physically, yeah, I'm talking about your appearance, and allowing yourself to become unattractive is in itself a passive form of denial. It's unreasonable for a wife to let herself deteriorate physically. Essentially, what she's doing, she is serving her husband a downgrade, going from a gourmet meal to a frozen TV dinner, and still expect him to have this enthusiastic engagement. This disregard for personal appearance isn't just about vanity. It represents a deep-seated lack of respect for her husband. Maintaining one's attractiveness is part of the marital covenant, a visible sign of respect and care. A wife who intentionally or carelessly lets herself go places her husband in an unfair and difficult position, continually exposed to the allure of women who do prioritize their appearance and health. Men, therefore, shouldn't bear the entire blame for their diminished attraction or resorting to external temptations under these conditions. Instead, Christian women must take responsibility for nurturing their marriages, which include actively maintaining their health, beauty, and sexual enthusiasm to protect their husband from unnecessary temptation. The reality is that when women don't want to hear this part, is that they don't want to have to hold any responsibility. They love to blame their husbands for what their husband is doing wrong, according to them, but never want to talk about what led to them doing those things. So listen, Christian ladies, stop being fat, get in shape, and go fuck your husband.
Glenn Lawrence has been doing God's work.
I like him. I like him. And that goes back to, ladies blaming their husbands. Well, maybe also the husbands aren't doing their part too. That is a big thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Husbands are
There's enough blame to go on both sides of this.
sure.
It's never
Yeah.
never just one person that's at fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's
the
why I
husband.
say you can't ever get comfortable. Either side.
Right.
Like we have to understand there's a domino effect that's going on here. One person gets comfortable, the next person goes, well, I can do it too. And it just starts this whole domino effect.
That is so true,
Yeah,
girl.
I have
So true.
the statistics that you wanted up. So I got them pulled up here so you can see them. So it says right here, 75% of Christian men view pornography compared to 78% of the general population. Why are so many Christian men having to view porn?
Okay, so let's ask Randy and Claire. I know why this is happening, but I want to hear like from you why you think it's predominantly religion and churches and the people in churches doing this.
And let me just show you the other statistic for women, right? Because so you got 75% of Christian men viewing porn compared to 78%, right? And then right below that, it's 40% of Christian women are viewing porn compared to 44% of the general population. So the numbers are not just like they're not very far off, like compared to who's going to be watching it and who's not. It's really close in percentage. So religion doesn't seem to be a factor so much here.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me. Again, you are your husband's porn, and you have to. I think a lot of women don't look at it like that. You can't be a starfish in bed. You got to be a little bit proactive and walk in the room naked and do the little things and flash him every now and again when I want something and I'm just kind of joking around, I'll just show the boobs, and he's like, okay. So anyway, go ahead.
Well,
What do you think,
I
Randy?
think it does show that the churches aren't doing their job. I mean, if they're not having any effect on their people, and they should be having effect. I mean, the people in the church are basically the same as the public. So they should be doing a better job of informing people. And really, porn is not real either. I mean, that's the lure of it. That girl is not real. and how she
They're
has
actresses.
sex is not real. I mean,
Yeah,
it's it's a fantasy.
So
You know,
I did a video a couple weeks back, or maybe a little bit more,
Did
with
you
you,
want to
right,
send it to
Glenn?
me?
On the one where she's another Christian conservative. She says that men don't
Oh,
need
you want me to pull it up?
sex.
Yeah, I can.
No, I mean if you want to, but I want to I want to address why I think that this is happening more with Christian women and men. Is women, there was this lady. You can pull it up. Go ahead, Glenn.
I think it'll be good for them to
Yeah,
reference
yeah.
what we're talking about here. Leather Rose made a video saying that men don't need sex.
We need air to breathe. We don't need sex.
The truth of the matter is men need sex.
Men don't need sex, and men don't need women.
There are countless studies showing that men who have regular sex are healthier,
Mhm.
more productive, happier in their life. So until you can show me alternate studies that show the opposite, is just an opinion and not facts.
that's
So,
true, 100%.
and I kind of got flack for me saying that if men don't need sex, then men don't need women. And let me explain this process here, right? You know, Randy, you could cook for yourself, right?
what's that?
You could
Cook
cook for
for
yourself,
myself.
right?
Oh yeah, he's a
Oh
great
yeah,
cook.
I'm a good cook.
Okay, so you're a good cook and you could cook for yourself. You know how to fold your laundry, right?
Yes,
Better at it than I am.
she just throws it in the basket. I'll fold.
Life's too short to fold socks. Sorry.
Man, you could probably build a house because men build houses, right? Men would build
I
their
built this
homes.
house. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Men know how to fix their cars, right?
sometimes.
Well, majority men are the mechanics, right?
Yeah.
Well,
All right. So
I'm
then
working
really,
on one now that I can't seem to fix, but that's another story.
can you provide yourself sex or offspring?
No,
You need a
No,
woman for that, right?
I need a woman for that, and she needs to be the
Mhm.
right woman.
Yeah.
Yes. So really, pretty much, if women are saying that men don't need sex and they don't want to give men sex, well, then men don't need women because the one thing that women provide men that men cannot provide themselves is sex and offspring.
That's true.
True.
So if
And
they
that'll never change.
that's their only leverage. That's the only leverage they have. And if
Yeah.
they want to remove that as an option, then men don't need you.
It's
And
funny
that's
I
why
say
you're
that.
seeing these guys getting all mad about it
I
and
say
going
that
their
all
own
the
way.
time, and they get mad at me
Yeah.
too. They try to correct me. They're like, no, 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 no. There's people want to have, they want to have friends, and they want to have, a woman brings company, and I'm like, okay, you're just not being able to distinct the two. There's a difference.
Mhm.
Yes, we need to be able to have a companion in life to share things with, but that's the
Right.
whole reason why a husband finds a woman attractive and wants to
Yeah.
spend his life with her. So
Yeah.
they have they don't like to hear that.
So, and then back to
True.
the servant leader thing. So, this is actually I'm going to just quote something from a series that I'm working on. And it's all about servant leadership. So, I don't think you've heard this yet. So, I'd love to hear your
No.
reaction to this. I'll be quick and brief. So, I go, somewhere along the lines, the church forgot that the Lion of Judah roars. They've turned him into a house cat. They took the gospel that brought up kings, warriors, builders, and fathers, and then declawed him until men were told that the highest calling is to serve quietly and lead gently. Now, on paper, that may sound righteous, but in practice, it's actually a slow castration. Servant leader, they said, the phrase that used to mean humility under mission, now means obedience under manipulation. It has become the Christian's favorite leash, their theological muzzle that's around every guy's neck. They're told to never command, but ask. Never decide, but discuss. Never lead, but listen. And after a few decades of listening to that and that kind of training, the church looks around and they're looking confused and they're like, well, where are all the strong men at? Well, they went home. They checked out. They stopped
Yeah.
fighting when they were told that their aggression was sin or that their confidence was pride and that their
Yeah.
vision was selfish. They were told that, you know, they were bad. They're always bad. If the wife wasn't happy, God ain't happy. So why do you think men are checking out?
Well, for that very reason. I mean, they're being told that, and I wouldn't stay at that church that put men in that position or talk to them in that way. I wouldn't stay there.
No.
So that their numbers are got to be going down. But our society does that too. Like I said, every commercial you see makes the man look stupid, and we usually just turn the channel. I don't like to see it. I know what's happening. I know they're demasculating men, and it's just not right.
I just hope that men start to stand up for themselves a bit more in the future. You know, like that whole Sydney Sweeney thing, when that went down, all of a sudden people were saying it's okay to be white. I loved that. You know, we can't help what we're born, black, white, Mexican. It doesn't matter, but we shouldn't be downplayed for it. You know, like, or you're got white privilege or whatever people want to say. You know what I mean? Same thing here. Um, you know, I think that men being demasculated is horrible for our society. We don't want a puss bucket with baby arms. I'm sorry, we just don't. We want, or a man bun, I should say. You know, we just don't want
Wait
that.
a
We
minute, you
want
don't
a
like
man.
skinny jeans and man buns? That's not cool. You don't want them to have a merce? You know, like that satin
No,
across the chest?
I can't with that. If my arms are bigger than that dude's, no, I just can't. You know what I mean? Gia's laughing. She knows what I mean. I mean,
And I think you're actually hitting on a point here that there's like a cognitive dissonance, right? Um,
yeah,
I think there's two problems at face here. We don't have men anymore. We have males, right? We have
yeah,
very few men, like the traditional masculine man, the leader, that good leader, that good
they're hard to
patriarch.
find. They're hard to
They're
find from
far and
what I'm
few.
understanding.
Yeah,
And they're
very
called
few.
a dinosaur when you find one.
Yep. And then they're
Like
mocked,
me.
right? You're traditional. Oh, you're from old ways. You know, this is 2025, right?
Right.
But because you stick to those core principles and values, you know, one, majority society doesn't want you, and then those that do can't find you because they're very few and far between. So now we have this younger generation of men who look like men, who maybe even are big and strong, and they appear to be men, but they're males. They have not become a man because they have
Right.
never established those qualities and traits that make men men in that sense. And
Yeah,
so what these women are getting, they're getting a like a knockoff, like a Timu version of masculinity, because there's a lack of masculinity in place. So it's kind of like a two-pronged problem where you got men today don't know how to be men, but women today don't know how to be women. They don't know how to be feminine.
oh, that's true. That's a very good point. It's kind of like the body positivity movement when it came around. You know, everybody was just kind of going, well, screw it, right? I'm just going to drink and be fluffy. And I tell you what, my wellness practitioner, one of them said to me, I asked him, I'm like, what is causing all these women to get so, because I don't know about you, but I've noticed in the last 5, 10 years, everybody's gotten fluffier by society. And he said it was every one of them, it's the body positivity movement. It hit them and it let the women get taken by it, and men as well. So I think it's the same kind of thing, you know, with what we're talking about now as well.
Well, so then now do you guys see this like struggle, right? Where it's
Yeah,
like women want real men now. They realize like, oh, they need a man, right?
yeah,
But they want a real man.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
but
now,
it's a
And they're
vacuum.
hard
It's a
to find.
vacuum.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
what where one is lacking, the other side is picking up. So, and
yeah,
like this leads me to say, okay, we humans and men and women, they move off of incentives. They move off of what inspires them, right? I
right.
know myself, and I know you're the same way. If we see something and we're like, okay, what did she do, or what do we have to do to get to that goal? I know that you're like
Yes,
that, right? Like
yes,
we
ma'am.
are inspired by what we see. So if our society is showing, we are not giving men anything to be inspired by anymore. Like,
True,
what are we
true.
showing them, right? So, like, when women sit around and go, "Oh, be a real man," or "Step up," or you take the lead, protect and provide, but yet they're not supporting him. They're not respecting men. They're
Yeah,
not. They're taking away their beauty. There's nothing more to inspire men anymore. Men built and did things because there were beautiful women that were soft spoken and feminine and they looked up to a man. Where are these women? What are we giving men to be inspired by anymore? So there's that.
that is,
That's why I said there's a vacuum. We're missing on
yeah,
one end and the other end is compensated.
yeah,
You
that is
know,
very true.
there's a pastor named Pastor Mike Foster. He's a friend of mine. He wrote a book called "It's Good to Be a Man." He says sex drives dominion. You know, it's like if God gave men this desire for sex, right? And it drives dominion. It drives men dominating over the world, having leadership. And look at all the great inventions that we have created. You know how many inventions have been created to probably make sex more accessible for men? You know, think about the washing
Yeah,
machine. Normally,
yeah,
their wives would be out there scrubbing those, doing everything by hand. She's tired at the end of the day, and and he's like, you know what? I could only make her life easier, if you know, think of
Leave,
the
leave it to
dishwasher.
you to turn that to sex.
I really think that's. I mean, that's what guys do. Like, it's like guys want to make their wives' lives more easier so
Yeah,
that
it's
she
true.
could have more time and be more available for them. Because that's what they hear. Oh, I'm tired because I did this and this. Okay, so if we could automize it, if we could create, we use our dominion and our drive to make your life easier, then that would mean she would have more availability. So
I'm gonna hire a
we as
maid right now.
if they could do it, but we see that throughout life and history. Just our most of our inventions have been driven by a need, and that need has been driven by a desire to help please and also receive.
Right.
So there is that ultimate sexual nature there, and it's not a bad thing. And I
Right.
think where we see with the church bringing that back up to it, the church has failed to actually teach sex properly. I think
Mhm.
the purity culture of the 80s and 90s has really damaged it and probably led to the degenerate hookup culture that they're talking about now,
Yeah.
because it was like, don't you dare look at a woman, ladies, you better cover up, and don't you share any skin because you're causing these boys to lust now. And it's like, either you're now a whore or he's now a horn dog that just humping everything, right? And it's like, that's a horrible way to teach sex. It's shame. And to the point where, and this is funny because I got these pictures here of you, Claire.
I
I'm
know.
gonna pull it up,
Oh
right?
no.
Like, it's not a bad thing at all. It's a great picture.
She's
And
got
but
amazing
that,
photo shoots. Yeah.
Oh.
this is sad when this is now, people will yell at you and consider that you are contributing to pornography. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Gia
that's
gets
just
the
one of my
same thing.
professional photos. Yeah.
But Gia gets the same kind of flack that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
two are creating porn.
Yeah. No,
You
we're
know,
trying to
there's a
inspire women to get fit,
there's a
be fit.
saying in psychology: when you repress desire, suppress, when you remove it or you try to suppress it, it comes out in judgment. And so that's what's really happening in the churches, is that they
Yeah.
are suppressing what God actually made naturally for us to enjoy. And that's coming out in judgment. It's coming out in all sorts of perversions and weird
Yeah.
things. I mean, that's why priests are known for pedophilia and all sorts of other things. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Glenn. It's definitely, this is exposing it all. And I, whenever I get the whole, oh, you're, because they'll tell me that, like whenever I say have sex with your husband, they'll say, oh, you're encouraging marital rape. And I say,
Oh, what?
I know, I laugh at it. I'm like, wow, like where did you even come up with that? It's so weird. It's so random.
Right?
But I always say, like, okay, if you want to ban porn, because this is another thing they'll do on Twitter, ban porn, all day long. You hear these ban porn, ban porn. I'm like, okay, your terms are acceptable. Ban porn. Okay. I've
Mhm.
never needed it. I've never even watched it. Okay, we don't
And
need it.
I think we could all agree that we know that it's detrimental to definitely
Yeah.
young men and men,
Ban
period.
it. Ban it. But now ban marital rape.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I say that, crickets. Because they want the option to control men. And that's what it comes down to. And this is the real problem here. They want to be able to control men.
I think it's the only leverage that they know that they have.
It is the only leverage.
They don't. They can't control them by force because women are not stronger by design. Like God didn't
Right.
create men to be that way or women to be that way. So
Correct.
it's like the only leverage, the only chess piece of move that they have is sex. So they
Yeah.
wives want to be their husband's only sexual access. So they want ban porn bad. Okay, but then I also want to control when he gets to have sex.
They want all
When
the
I give it
option
to
and
him.
they want to leave no option for their husband. It's all about power and control.
And that's ridiculous because you can't do that. Don't abstain sex. Don't use it as a weapon. It does not end well, ladies. I can tell you right now, it does not end well. And what I was saying earlier about not, men not hurting your feelings, just be aware of that. I mean, I know what you're saying, Gia, about women being really emotional. I'm not a very emotional woman. I don't know why, but I'm not. Are you? I'm just not.
I don't know. Let me ask you. I mean, we can get into this later, but I'm assuming you came from like how was your dad? Like my dad was a very good dad. Like he was hands on and gave good example. Did you have the same experience with your father?
I had a great childhood. My father was 31 years older than my mom, though. So, I mean, he's 19 years older than me. But by the way, I'm 53, Randy's 72. But yeah, my dad was, he died when I was 15 from cancers.
Oh, sorry.
So, no, but he was a great man. We were close
My dad died of
until he
cancer
got,
as well.
it's horrible, isn't it? I hate that disease.
Mhm.
That's why I don't drink alcohol rarely, because it's been linked to cancer, and my whole family drank and they all died of cancer. So I just won't touch it if I don't have to. Anyways, so yeah, my dad was great. I mean, we had a good relationship while he was alive. I think I was his favorite. But anyway, and my mom too, but they fought a lot. Like this is kind of a funny story, but my mom and dad would fight a lot. Well, we had a Mexican parrot, a Mexican redhead, and one day this little parrot started going out of nowhere. We didn't know what it was until one day my mom and dad got into it, and my dad would go around the corner past the parrot cage bitching about my mom, and they got into a fight, and he went past the bird cage. God damn, fuck it, and then 5 minutes later, here goes the bird. And we busted out laughing because we finally figured out why the bird was making all those noises. It was my dad's bitching it was imitating. Anyways, so their relationship was a little tumultuous, or a little uh,
Well, the age difference is pretty far.
it
especially
was,
with
Yeah.
but they just didn't always get along, but that didn't let that
Yeah.
affect me. I'm the type of person that's look, leave it where it happened. Don't let
Yeah.
it affect the rest of your life. These people that get traumatized in this situation or that situation. I'm not making light of things if it's serious, but leave it where it happened and move on,
Mhm.
because there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think what
So
you're saying, Claire, when you're talking about like watch how you talk to your wife or your woman, is that like basically know your audience. Like
yes,
me and Randy could probably talk to each other and we could break each other's balls and give each other shit, and we're not going to get offended by it. It'll be
that's
like
exactly right.
it's like we were actually testing each other. Like, are you soft? Are you soy? Let me test that
You
strength there.
stupid bitch,
You
I
know?
told you to be careful your step. Now that's the men
Yeah,
treating like that's how they would talk to another man. So don't
yeah,
talk to a woman like you would talk to a man.
exactly.
Does not end well. That's what we're getting at.
Yeah.
And it's
See,
like
my dad and my mom were very blunt. They just said it exactly like it is. From a young
Yeah, love
child,
that.
I just always hear things. They never sugarcoated anything. They told us what we needed to do. They gave clear instructions. So for me, it was just natural, and it doesn't upset me when I experience it now as an adult. So I think that's important
Yeah,
too, is what the child had when they were upbringing.
I
true. I
think it's
think
like
you're right.
know your audience though. I think it's
Mhm.
very important when you're talking to people is know who is receiving the information. And it's
Yeah,
also like so by being a speaker, like in Gia, you do this with public speaking.
Mhm.
I'm sure Claire, you do this as well as you know your audience. So you say things in a manner that's going to be able to be received well. You don't want them
yeah,
to have walls up. You want them to be able to receive what you're saying,
yeah.
process it, and then determine whether and they instead of having their walls up and just in defense, right? So
Yes,
when you're talking, guys, so when they're talking to women, no, I'm not going to talk to my woman as I talk to my buddy, where I'm going to break his balls and give it to him a little bit harsh,
yeah,
because I know he can handle that. But because
right.
women I know process things emotionally first before logically and rationally, right? I'm going to present it in a manner that doesn't spark those emotional cues to where she's going to be defensive. It's going to be something that she could
Yeah,
be able to digest, and then she could well receive without being, argumentative or
I like to
combative.
call that discernment.
It is discernment. It
Mhm.
yeah,
is discernment. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
know your
100%.
audience.
I
Yeah,
think that's why
100%.
I've always gotten along with older men. That's why, like, my husband's a lot older. Like, I think that's why it's good to have that balance, because he guides you and he's able to know things better than you. So it's
True.
And,
important.
and
How many years
now that you
difference do
guys
y'all
brought
have?
that up, oh, Gia,
Husband.
what's
Gia, how many
what's the
years? Sorry.
no, go ahead.
How many years difference are you and your husband?
7.
Okay, we're
Okay,
not.
so
We're
7
this
like
years.
actually
19.
this is what I want to bring up, because this has actually been brought up numerous times on many shows. Jen, I'm sure you heard it. Um, the age gap.
Mm.
They say, guys, like you said, you're 19 years separated difference.
Yeah, 18. Yeah,
18. They would call him a pervert or somebody that's trying to predator, trying to snatch the young woman. 20 years. How can you relate with somebody 20 years difference in you? Are you just trying to manipulate her because
robbing the
she's
cradle.
young? Yeah, and
yeah,
then and but so it throughout the Bible, there's always these age gaps, right?
Mhm.
Ruth and Boaz had a 40-year age gap. And, you
Oh,
know,
wow.
Moses and or his wife, there was age gap. Abraham, his wife, 12 years age gap. There's always been age gap. Age gap has never been a problem. Why is it now then? All of a sudden, it seems like if a younger woman is with an older guy, like a 7-year age gap, 10-year age gap, you're up to a 20-year age gap. Why is it's perceived that the man is trying to manipulate or prey on the younger woman?
I can tell you why, or at least my theory on it. I think that as women get older, they get a little more insecure. Some of them, not all of them, and they look at that like the younger women might be kind of taking their men options, give or take. Maybe I'm not saying this quite right, but I chased him.
Ooh.
When I saw him, I chased him. I knew what I wanted, and I knew he was the one almost immediately.
That's
Gia,
why
didn't
we
you like
actually
was it
were
the same
together
thing?
3 years before we got married.
Yeah.
And my
Oh.
reluctance was because of the age gap. But she never had a thought about it. It was nothing to her.
No, because
So
Now, Gia,
we're peaceful.
Didn't
so
you
I
say that's
finally
pretty much
gave
the same
in.
thing? Like you kind of pursued your husband.
Yeah.
No, actually, no, Joe definitely. Joe pursued me
Oh, okay.
100%.
I thought like he liked you, but I thought like you made sure that you let him know that he liked you, like like you
So
pursued.
our story is so unique. He saw me, he liked me, and I liked him. It wasn't like I was definitely attracted to him right away, but I didn't just jump on it. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna. No, I had to like sit back, watch how he was, see how his
Right.
family was. Like I had to talk to him, and I was like very 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 transparent. Told him exactly what I wanted for the future, and if this was gonna go forward, he had to meet my family, and it was like had to be done the right way.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah.
I mean, in a
The
way, that's
family
still kind
part
of
is the
pursuing
hardest.
because you're still making it available. You're letting him know what he needs to do, what needs to be made. So you're kind
I
of giving
wasn't
him
I
the
was very
game.
transparent. I wasn't like
Yeah,
playing games or anything. Like
yeah.
I
You
knew I
kind of
was
gave him
interested in him, but yeah, I had to know that it was somebody who wasn't gonna because I had only dated one other guy before I met my husband. I never even knew what it was like to be in the dating, atmosphere. So
Oh
now.
wow, that's cool.
Here's the question for both of you ladies, and I'm gonna ask Randy this separately, but I want to ask you ladies first. Um, Today's day and age, and when it comes to dating, it seems like the man has to pursue or peacock, to gain the woman's attention, right? To get selected, right? And what I want to point out with Claire and Randy is that Randy was about his business. He seemed like he was doing his life, and she went out of her way to actually pursue him to get selected. Do you think that dynamic is actually probably and this is why I say that, the
mm,
better option? Because if the guy is constantly pursuing her, right, he is no longer has the power to determine the outcome of the relationship. He is saying, I'm, I want to be your guy. See, look what I can do. I can jump. I can do this. Look what I can do. I can dance, like, and it's her selecting whether or not she wants to be in a relationship with him rather than him having the relationship determining power. Like, you know what? No, I don't want to be with this woman. Right. And so from the onset of the relationship, a man that's pursuing a woman that's constantly trying to appease her to try to win her over, he's actually deferring his power and leadership already from the beginning before the relationship starts. Do you guys see that?
Well,
mhm. That's why
Now,
well,
I don't believe in the word courting. Like when people like to say, "Oh, he needs to court me," I'm like, you don't understand. Courting is basically you trying to see his worth. Like you're trying to make him prove his worth. That's why I don't like the word.
Yeah, I
so
like
do you
that word.
think like the way that, and Randy, have you ever been in a relationship where a woman wasn't pursuing you? Or and then you pursued them? Like,
oh,
how did that work?
I'm sure, but I really wasn't in dating life that much. So, and when I met Claire, I hadn't been out dating at all. There was an attraction right away. We both were attracted to each other. It's
Mhm.
just I was wanting to be cautious and take our time. And she says, "You take all the time you want. I'm not letting you get away."
Aw.
That was like when we met, and we were at a lake bar of all things, a really nice lake bar, but a lake.
Neither one of us drank, but
Neither one of us
we met
drank.
at a bar.
And I went with a friend, and it was just kind of a let's go left instead of right kind of thing. And we ended up there, and I saw him when I walked out the door onto the patio, and I did a double take, and I've never done a double take on a man in my entire life. So I was like, "Oh shit, busted!" And he totally busted me, and he did this cute little wave thing, not "Hey baby, come here," but it was just like a nice way. And I'm like, See, I'm gonna go over there, and the rest is history. Like he's got these piercing blue eyes, and that's what got my attention, and that's why I did the double take. And I turned to my friend after he caught me double taking him, and I said, "I want one of those."
I want,
And
I want that. I want
I
that.
want one
That's
of those.
cute.
But
Cute
but
story.
this was a bar that we went to, and I didn't go to bars. Really, she didn't go to bars.
Not really.
But this particular bar, my brother-in-law was there, my sister-in-law, my brother was there. A lot of family that goes to this bar all the time. So I told Claire when I first met her, I said, "Well, I don't really go to bars." And the first person to walk by says, "Hey, Randy, how you doing?" And then another one, and another one, another one. And she says, "Okay, I can't believe anything he says."
I wasn't sure about that. I was like, okay, well, the whole family. I got to meet half the family while I was
That's
there. And
awesome.
they're great, but anyway.
So, Gia, I have a quick little like game I want to play with you two. And these are comments that women have made, like Ali Stuckey, comments of some popular women, commentators have said, and I kind of want to see what your guys' opinion is, and see if me and Randy kind of line up at the same point where we're talking about from a male perspective. Right. So
Okay.
Candace Owens once, said, well, let me pull this up here. Men, we need you. We need strong men. The West is dying because we don't have men. And the way I look at it is like, okay, she's praising men for their ability, but the not calling of women like, hey, women, we're collapsing, our nation's collapsing because you're also not being women. It goes this and like if men are checking out and not being men because they're being like, adult boys, then that's bad. That's going to ruin society. But also, we need women to be women because if
Yeah,
women are not,
where are the women saying support your man? And even if
Yeah.
that means financially, where are the women going? It's okay if let's say he lost his job, okay? It's okay to step in and help a man. Like, where are those women? Support him, respect him, let the household run smoothly. There's just not enough women. If I were to say something like, and I say all the time, you need, as a woman, we have to invest in him as well, right? We have to invest in him not only emotionally, not only physically with sex, but with financial. I also invest in my relationship. I'm not just going, oh, give me, give me, give me, and I'm just going to simply exist. That's
Right.
Where are these women?
Yeah, I
and
agree
then
with you 100%.
Ali Stuckey said, "Men, we need you. We need your masculinity. We need your strength. We need your boldness. We need your courage." But and I'm like, yeah, we get it. We know you guys need that from us.
I mean, she might as well just say, be a real man like 20 times.
Yeah,
That's
but
all
it's
I
like,
hear when I hear that. Be a real
but it's like,
man.
but like have you like it's like the question I get left with that is like, have you asked men what we need yet? Have you asked men like maybe why they're not doing that?
It's no different than a woman going, step up. You need to step up. It's the same language that they're using. It's feminist. It's literally feminist playbook.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
true.
Erica Kirk to the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and I hate to have to use this as an example, but it's there. She said, "Men, embrace true manhood. Be strong and courageous for your families. Love your wives and lead them. And be good leaders. Be leaders worth following." And I go, well, I agree with everything you said,
But it should
but
be coming from a man. It should be
but
coming
it's
from
like,
a man.
but it's like when you say like be leaders worth following. Well, if he's your husband, by definition, you've already determined he is a man worth following because you wouldn't have married a man that you didn't think that was worth following. So,
Oh, you'd be amazed what women marry.
well, it's true, but it's almost like this. I think it's kind of like the military. When I was in the military, it didn't matter whether I liked the president or the general, whoever I was working under. They gave me an order. My job is to execute the order. I may not respect the individual, but I respect the office that this person holds, right? So the husband holds this office of husband, right? So you may not be happy with him, you may not like him at the moment, and that shouldn't determine whether you follow his order or his lead because it's the office that he holds that you respect.
Yeah, but what you're describing is a hierarchy, right? We always talk
Yeah,
about how men are really good in hierarchies. And how do men build hierarchies? Through their
right.
capability, through their strength, right? But we don't talk about how women build hierarchies, and women have their own form of hierarchy.
Ooh.
How though? How do women build their own form of hierarchy? And what throughout history, women have built their hierarchy. The quickest, easiest way is through marriage. Because what? Status, influence, and power. Because it's instant. That's why they're so concerned with marrying money. Because that is how they build their hierarchy the quickest. It's also why you see older, unattractive, rich wives sitting around going, I'm better than her because I'm rich and I'm married and you are single, right? Or they'll put down these young, pretty little girls that are available. What? I'm married. I have a man. I'm rich. Look at you. Let's see if you find a man. This is how they build their hierarchy. They feel better that way. It's their way of like, I'm better than you. Everything that we're seeing online, oh, look what she's wearing. Oh, it's all about moral superiority. It's all about women building their hierarchies. That's why they love social media because that's why they go on TikTok. That's why they do the OnlyFans. It's just a way to feel I'm better. And however they build it, that's what they do.
These are the women we call the Frau.
So here's the question, because like both of you guys probably get this, and it seems like you both agree with a lot of the same talking points. When you guys talk about this to younger women or just to any women, in your friends group or in a circle, do you always get pushback, or is it like do you actually appeal to them? Because it seems like every time Gia says something on Twitter, it's like 90,000 women, coming out with the pitchforks and stuff, and then like half the guys are coming after her as well. And it's just like, well, if you two ladies seem to understand this, like, and you two ladies also have wonderful, prosperous relationships to show that. Why are other women getting it, and why are men also not getting it?
What do you think, Claire?
It's really hard to say in the sense that, maybe they're not confident in their own marriage. Maybe they're not confident in themselves, in themselves. I think it goes back to the women. A lot of women, unfortunately, are overweight now. And I just don't feel like they are confident in how they feel about themselves. And that reflects in everything.
I know for me, I didn't marry a man for money. I didn't go after him for that. I went after him because I actually loved the man. There was nothing there for me to gain other than a companion for life, right? So in that, like, I wanted to sustain that quality of life for as long as I could. So I got into fitness, I got into health. I wanted to stay the way that he met me. I wanted to maintain that as long as I possibly could. So I think for women, when they see that, they immediately, oh, she must have married rich. Then they find out, nope, she didn't marry rich. So she's not a gold digger. Okay, I can't get her on that. Well, then what? She must be a whore then. Oh, nope, she's only dated one other guy other than her husband. She's not a whore. I can't get her there, right? Then they go, they're always trying to find what.
But now she sells porn.
Let me find something to pull her down. So they keep coming at me and they can't find any angle. And it comes down to hard work. And then once I show them, no, it's damn hard work. Get your ass to the gym. Stop with the nonsense. True. Then it's like, oh, I just hate you now. Now I just hate you, and that's why I get my hate,
Yeah, they don't want to do it, always. And sometimes I get a lot of women that follow me that do want to do it and they don't know how. So that's my job, is to try to help them, for free as much as I can, on just like you do with the relationships on Instagram and TikTok and all the places, to get where they want to go.
Yeah, they'll turn to me, oh, well, you don't have kids. No, I'm like, no, I have a son. Like, and they're like, oh crap, you can't get around that. Then they oh, well, you must not work a 9 to 5. You must not work. No, I have 4 9 to 5s. Oh crap, we can't get her on that. It's like they're always trying to find. It's a hierarchy. That's what I'm trying to say. Women have their own form of hierarchy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Randy, like, here's my question to you. Like, when I don't have a problem telling men where they're fucking up. Like, I'll tell them, like, look, man, you are pedestalizing your woman. Okay, you're making your woman your mission, and God gave you a mission before he gave you a woman. He gave Adam dominion over the earth before he made Eve. So you always had a purpose before. Your wife is not your purpose. Your wife is your helpmate that helps you along as you achieve your purpose. And as you grow and succeed, she inherits that success. you know, like she is a recipient of that, growth and success. When I tell guys stop putting women as their focal point
Mm.
and focus on what their journey is, what their goal is, they get so mad. And I tell them, hey, guess what? You're not the reason why you're not also getting selected by women is because you're chasing them. Like they don't want women don't want to know that guys are easily manipulated by women's sexual charm. That's unattractive. And
Well,
what do you think they can't receive that for? Like why do you guys like get so mad about it?
for me, I mean, I knew who I was before I met Claire, so it was never something I had to change for or that type of thing. I knew um, I wasn't concerned about my femininity or anything like that. I was a real guy, and that's what she was attracted to. And so many times now, I work. I probably have 50 males working for me, and some of them are real men. I'm in construction, so some of them are manly men, that type of thing. But a lot of them aren't. I remember hiring or a kid went to work for me that was. Uh, he said he said to me, "Do I get a paycheck Friday?" I said, "Yeah, you get a paycheck. You're working here. You get a paycheck." I said, "Have you ever had a job before?" He said, "No, this is my first job." I said, "How old are you?" He said, 26. That's ridiculous. And that's because they stayed at home. Their mothers coddled them. They didn't put them out there in the real world to become men. And so I think there's a lot of that going on. So when
women don't want it.
when Candace Owens says we need more real men, yeah, we do. There's a fault there. We also need women stop coddling these boys so they can't become men. My dad at 18 years old was fighting in World War II, and so that was a different generation, and we need more of that to set things right.
That brings up a good point. So you're right, but why do they keep on addressing only the man side? Oh, we need more real men. Why are we not saying why are single mothers
It's only half of the issue. That's right.
Yeah, women are. I've heard from the single men that women are hard to date. They are very holier than thou, if you will, about not dateable. Like they're just, like what are you
They're
going to do for me?
unmarriageable. Like they're not. It's not like I'd say that there's a lot of beautiful women out there,
Sure.
but they're not worthy of actually commitment. It's just like you're not worthy of the investment. And I say this is like, when men today, when they get married, we already know that men end up taking a lot of the risk if the marriage collapses with divorce and the way that divorce court is. So it's an investment for a man. A man is saying, you know what? This woman is worth the risk, and I'm willing to invest everything, half of everything I have, to be with this woman because she is worthy of that, right? And a lot of these guys are not seeing that anymore in women, and I think it has to do with exactly what Gia said, because there's never women. You need to do better here. Women, you need to become better. You need to be worthy of a man's investment in marriage, right? It's
Yeah,
always men need to be better, and
think about like
men do
50
need to
years
get better.
ago, it was a given that you were going to marry a virgin. She had long hair, she was fit and attractive, she knew how to cook, she wanted to be a mother, she didn't have tattoos and piercings all over her body, she wasn't promiscuous. Like it was a given that this was expected. Now you can't even find one girl with even one of those qualities.
I know that's right. Yeah, it's true, and it's sad, and maybe Gen X did mess up a little bit here, raising some of these millennials, and I don't even know if it's a millennial. It might be more the millennials that are raising the Gen Zs.
Your husband nailed it. They're coddling their kids. Their kids do not want to leave the roost. They're home and
It's the
they're
participation trophy generation. You should
sad.
get a reward just because you were there. No, winners get rewards. Losers get nothing.
And life will always be that way. Absolutely.
And
So
even
before
let's
we wrap,
say, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say before we wrap up, I was gonna ask them, both to let's come up with, because we talked about all the problems that we're seeing, and we like to give actionable advice. So I would like the ladies to come up with 5 things that you could encourage young women or women that are single that want to get in relationships. So 5 things that they could work on for themselves, to improve their current selection with men, right? Or, dating, problems. And then I want myself and Randy to come up with 5 options for young men or men that are struggling with relationships or life in general, what they could do to help improve. Because we want to leave them not with just like, oh, we see the problem, but let's give them actionable advice, things that they could take and put into practice to improve their lives. So we don't just sit here and talk about the doom and gloom.
Yeah.
So,
Who do you want to go first?
You go.
ladies first, of course.
All right, I'll go first. Take care of yourself. Don't eat like an asshole, and treat your body. This is the only place you have to live is your body. Take care of it. That's number one. You're going to feel better if you're healthy. If you look better, you're going to feel better from the inside out. That's number one. Take care of your skin as well, right?
Ooh.
Do your microneedling and Botox if you want to, if that's the route you want to go, because the more you feel like you can take care of yourself, the better you're going to feel from the inside out. um, don't be a cow. What I mean by that is don't be a bitch. Be open to listening to men, and don't automatically dismiss what they have to say. um, if they have good advice, try to take it. Be open, be accountable. This is another one. Be accountable, especially for
Ooh.
your own actions. I'll never forget this. I was in the bathroom, and Randy, you know how sometimes men will come up and grab your butt and it catches you off guard and you're like, and you make a face or something. Girl, I had a mirror in front of me and I saw that face and I was like, who is that? It was like, you remember that? Literally, I was like, oh my God. I, the I didn't recognize myself at all at that moment. And I literally, and Randy was like, he walked off, and I walked around the corner and I said, babe, I am so sorry. I do not know who that person was. When you grabbed my butt, basically just caught me off guard and I made a face I should not have made. Anyway, so just, be accountable for your own actions. When you're wrong, say you're wrong. When you're right, stand up for yourself, but don't be super emotional and defensive if you don't have to be. I'm trying to
Let
think
me
of
ask
other
you a
things.
question about that accountability part, though. Because I think just how men and women understand respect and love differently, I think accountability is probably something they process differently as well.
Mhm.
Um, and so, like, men
Yeah, this
understand
is
accountability as, like, you know what? It's ownership. I take
Ownership.
ownership of my actions, like accountability for a relationship. Like, it may not be your fault. It may not be Randy's fault that you crashed the car by accident, but he knows that he's responsible. He's the man. He has to make an action, but he has the responsibility to act. He has to act and make sure that car gets repaired. He's going to get that car in the shop. He's going to make sure that you're taken care of. And if you're at fault, he's going to make sure that the injured party is taken care of and their
Right.
car is taken care of. It's not his fault, but he has a responsibility to act. That's him being accountable for his role in the relationship.
Yeah.
How like, women may see that differently. They look at accountability as blame.
Not all of us, but maybe some of us. I think the other thing is too, if you're already in a marriage relationship and you feel like the spark, because Rainey and I have got good chemistry. The second he kissed me, it was fireworks. To this day, 21 years later, it's still that way. So find a man that you have really good chemistry with. I mean, really good. But if you're in a marriage already and you feel like that spark is diminishing, and you feel like you're a little bit fluffy and you want to get more in shape to feel good for yourself to present to your man, because I think that's just a womanly thing. If we don't feel good about, we touched on this earlier, if we don't feel good about how we look, it comes out in all kinds of forms in our relationships and in general in life. So, start learning how to eat better, start learning how to lift weights. Muscle is key to longevity. Take care of yourself in that way as well, and you'll become more attractive to look at for yourself and how you feel and healthy, but also for your man as well. If you are willing to, if you end up divorced or you're thinking about getting a divorce, if you're willing, because you're going to have to get back in shape for another man, if you're willing to do that, then you should be willing to do it for the man that you love.
Gia, what are your 5? Because I think those are great 5. I would love to see what you add to that.
those are really, really good. So number one on the list will be take away the victim blaming. We have to stop the victim blaming. That in itself, like if you're going to talk about how feminism ruined our life, like everyone, you hear that all over social media. But unless you're actually going to stop pointing fingers, then you actually are doing the feminist playbook. So quit the victim blaming. I don't care what you've been through. We all have a story. We've all hit rock bottom. We've all been through crap. It's about getting up, learning from those lessons, right? Finding the silver lining, not going, oh, it happened because of somebody else. No, find the silver lining, finding out what you did to actually make that happen, and then not repeating it, right?
Yep.
So number one. And then next one is gratitude. Gratitude. We need more gratitude. We have to start looking at the glass half full, right? Look at what we have today. All of us have a roof over our head. All of us have clothes on our back. All of us have food. We're actually very, very blessed. Like when you look at anywhere else in the world, we have so many privileges. Literally, we can go get a job. I mean, that might not be the job we want, but we could go get a job tomorrow. There's people who are starving. There's people who don't have homes that are sleeping on the streets. Have more gratitude. And then next one is sense of humor. Sense of humor. Where there's not enough, learn to laugh at yourself. It's okay. You don't have to do everything perfect. If somebody points out a flaw, laugh at it. Okay. You know what? I'm flawed. I'm not perfect. Somebody calls you crazy. Well, you know what? I'm probably a little crazy. Laugh at it. Don't take it offensive. Learn where you can get better. The next one is taking the initiative. And I say this because women will do this a lot. Like, well, he didn't do this, so why should I do it? Or even in sex, like, he's not coming after me, so I'm not going to do anything. Or he didn't put his hand on me, so I'm not going to take the initiative, put your hand on him, touch him, grab his butt, in the bed, jump on him. I don't care if it's 4 a.m, climb on top of him, take the freaking initiative. Okay. And then the last one is ask a man, especially, it doesn't matter if he's your father, your brother, a boyfriend, a husband, ask him what he needs from you. Instead of always saying, hey, what can you, like, I need something. No, what do you need from me? And then listen. And if it's something that triggers you, like, but I thought I was doing that. No, don't say anything. Hold back and actually listen to him, and then go start applying it and changing. So those are my 5.
I think ladies that were watching this later on, I think you have 10 amazing tips that you could do to implement, or 12 or 14, or I don't know how many, but there were just right there was plenty that you guys could listen to, that you could add to your life right now to improve either your relationship or your next relationship, but fellas, time for you to get laid into, because we're about to give it to you. No Vaseline. Randy, you want to go ahead?
Okay, I'd say if I was telling young men what to be, I would say aspire to be great. Aspire to be a better man. Not what your wife thinks you should be, but what you know you should be. And be the right man that you're supposed to be, and everything else will follow. Treat her with the respect she deserves, and never give her any ammunition.
Oh, this is a good one.
They save that ammunition. Like I said, women have a file cabinet, men have a dry erase board. So 5 years from now, that'll be used against you. So never give them ammunition, but do the right thing. Be a real man, be a gentleman, and support and be special for that person, but also for yourself, for your kids. That's what you're supposed to be.
Your 3s, stability, security, and support. I'm rewrote that.
Yeah. For security, support, stability, that type of stuff. That's what men are supposed to do. It's what they're supposed to do.
I'm writing these down just so you know. I'm going to use them as notes, so I'm writing them down.
Okay.
Moody.
And don't be moody. That's another thing I'd recommend to men.
Basically, gentlemen, he's saying don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, and what it is our society's been trying to tell us to get in touch with our feelings. Men don't need to get in touch with their feelings. So we can pass on that.
Wait a minute, you don't need to be vulnerable? You don't need to.
No,
you don't need to
okay.
You sure? You don't need to think things?
Stay fit. Stay fit.
Oh yeah, and stay in good shape. Stay fit.
Yeah, because women like looking at men too. I like looking at his butt too, and I'll grab his chest sometimes.
Women check out their husbands. Yes, they
Totally.
do.
I'll fix his hair in the middle of a workout.
Yes, and ladies, we do like butt grabs too. All right, you're not the only ones that like it. Okay, we kind of like it too.
And don't be afraid to go the other direction.
Definitely don't be afraid of that.
They love that.
All right. So, Randy, I think those are great. I'm glad I wrote them down here. I'm going to add to your list. I'm going to say before you even get in a relationship, you need to know who the hell you are.
Yeah.
Develop your frame. Know what you want out of a woman in a relationship. Don't go into it, oh, she touched my pee-pee, so she must be wifey. All right. You have to know the type of woman you want, because if you don't have any expectations or standards, then you're going to get with anything that touches your dick. And you're going to be mad about it later. So 2, know who you are, know what the kind of relationship that you want in your life. 3, be a man of character. Your yes is your yes and your no is your no. That comes with boundaries, right? So if a woman sees that you are willing to be flexible or biased with your boundaries, where you're either going both ways or they're not standard, then she's not going to be able to trust you, nor she's going to respect you.
That's right.
3, respect yourself first and foremost, right? Because if she doesn't see that you respect yourself and you allow her to disrespect you without consequence, then why would you expect her to respect you? You are demonstrating to her that you don't even respect yourself, so why should she?
Right.
Number 4, I would say, is let go of all the pain from yesterday. Your past relationship, you need to let that shit go. Learn from it. Let it be a lesson, but don't be carrying that baggage in, because that's what I hear a lot with these guys talking about. Well, women are like this. My ex did this. Not all women are your ex.
That's right.
Learn from your mistake and realize that you played a role in that failure of that relationship.
Yeah.
And number 5, embrace enlightened self-interest. Realize knowing that helping her ultimately helps you. If you're a good leader, right, you're going to provide her with the resources that she needs to be successful in the role that you need her in. And by helping her out there, she could help you and be that perfect, complement to you.
Right.
But if the leadership is not good, you should expect her to question your leadership and love her passionately. As me and Gia talked about before, if you're not doing it regularly and it's only when you want to get off, you have made her a prostitute. You have made her a sex toy. And no woman wants to feel like a sex toy. She wants to be your porn star, but not your fleshlight. That would be my 5.
Excellent.
Good one.
Golf clap.
Yeah.
Good
Hold on, we
job.
gotta get a round of applause here. We go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. So let's wrap it up. I think we hit the 2 hour, but just at the 2 hour mark, and we gotta have so many great clips in this, Gia. I wanted to see any final thoughts. I want to get Claire more, because I know you have a website, and it's Claire. I'm sorry, I just have it up here.
ClaireMorrow.com.
Yep, ClaireMorrow.com. I'm going to pull it up here real quick, so people know where to find you and what you offer, and you can kind of share that with everybody here. Because if anybody watches this video wants to get in contact with you, we want to make sure they're able to. So here
absolutely.
you go.
And social media really is the best place as well. If you go to ClaireMorrow_IFBB Pro, just make sure you don't spell my name with an I. It's CLARE. You'll never find me if you put an I in there. That's my name on all platforms except YouTube is Claire Morrow. And yeah, I'm happy to help anyone that's willing to listen. Definitely follow. I talk a lot about fitness. I talk a lot about fat loss, hormone balance, anything over age 40, 35 and up, actually. But my page is good for all ages. And my husband's on there sometimes too. Sometimes we do marriage stuff, like fun skit videos, but not very often. But, we have a lot of fun with it. And if you have a question, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram and I will answer you.
Perfect. And just because Randy doesn't have a website doesn't mean he's not cool and famous. He's so exclusive. You have to know him personally and get his private contact before you even can talk to him. So There you go.
He's on Instagram too. If you find my Instagram, you'll find his. He's tagged in almost everything. So
Yeah, I just started following you, Randy. I got you.
I
Thank
wasn't
you.
trying to, I was trying to make him exclusive. All right, it's like special.
Now I've got a celebrity following me. I can't believe it.
I know, Gia, he's the one that told me about your page.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I love
And-
her because your relationship advice is so good.
And
Yeah,
I've
his
mentioned you to
Instagram.
Yeah.
I've mentioned you to many men too with the relationship
Aw,
advice.
thank
I mean,
you.
In 2012, when I first saw you, I saw a girl in a bikini, but you evolved into so much. And I tell guys all the time, she is great. Her advice is the best.
100%.
Thank you.
Even
You know
his
what's
son
funny?
is following you now.
It's
Yeah, I
funny
don't think
people will say that.
I don't think I ever told you how I first came across you. Like I knew you from fitness, like I knew of you, right? But I didn't know like you were talking relationship stuff, right?
Mhm.
And I wasn't like it wasn't name recognition. I had an ex complain about you,
Yeah.
right? And this is
I
what she
see
said.
that.
She's
Yeah.
like, I bet you my ex watches her and likes her shit. And then I get word of that, and I was like, who are you talking? Like, who's she talking about? I was like,
I've actually had people go, I've had to unfollow you because my girl said, like, I can't follow you. Like, that's happened several times. Yes.
Oh
but
my
And it's
God.
funny
when
because
I get-
they loved me when I was doing bikinis. Like when I was just posting the fitness and I wasn't doing
Yeah.
relationships at all, everyone
Mhm.
was very positive, right? As soon as I started with the relationship, they started calling me a grifter. Like immediately hate. I start getting all this crap. And I laugh because I'm like, you can't grift a 25-year marriage.
no, you
You
No.
you can't fake that,
No, you
So
can't.
it's like it's not that there's anything fake about it. It's just that I'm now sharing that I'm not available anymore. So that's
Yeah.
the real problem. Like,
Right.
let's get down to the root problem here.
It was so funny though, because I'm sitting there watching the video. Like they sent me the video, and I'm like, "Oh, everything she says is right. I mean, she's based. This is perfect. Why more women listen to this?" Right? And I
Well,
was like,
because
so
women
now
are
I know why.
intimidated by her. Women
They
are
don't-
intimidated by her.
They don't want to hear like they just if you're pretty, just shut up. That's what it comes to. You get it.
Oh yeah, it's so funny though. So when I was told that my ex, like, she's like, "Oh, my ex probably likes her stuff," and I was like, "Absolutely, of course I do. That's why you're an ex."
I've
You know?
had people like now they come in and tell me like stop talking, just show yourself in a bikini. Like I get those messages all the time. Like it is what it is.
Oh my God.
This
That's
is you asked. I mean, I asked for it. I'm not a victim. I asked for it. I put myself
Oh, yeah.
out there. So
It's
part of the
you're
game.
going to get flack. It's
Yeah.
part of the course. Well,
Whereas,
ladies and gentlemen,
see, I'm the opposite. Like I have to be careful when I put like I've been showing Jessica Rabbit stuff the last couple of days, and I'm like, oh, do I even want to post this? I got way too many women followers. They're gonna be like, ugh.
No,
You
no,
know?
you rock that. That's like you. So you did a great job with that costume.
I think people need to realize that you could be beautiful and sensual and
Mhm.
attractive without pushing pornography or trying to push lust or like
Yes.
or even signaling availability.
Listen, beauty was given to us to enjoy. It's part of what makes life enjoyable. Why would you want
Yeah.
to take that away? If you
Yeah,
can't
true.
differentiate, you can't control your own mind. Like I say this all the time. Me and my husband, we go down to the nude beach because I love to wear the tiny, tiny bikinis. And sometimes when you go to the other like public beaches, you can't do that, right? So
Right.
we go there, and I just think it's funny because there's nothing sexy about going there. It's like you
Yeah.
see naked people and you don't even think about it sexually. But if
Right.
you have a problem with seeing somebody half naked and immediately think of sex, maybe the problem isn't them. Maybe it's you.
Right.
And I say that a lot. It's also a lot of it has to do with that purity culture, mindset. Like the human body is shameful. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
God made women with curves. That's sexy. I mean,
He
that's a
made us
good thing.
naked and he said, be unashamed. That's literally his words. It's humans
Yeah.
that have messed it up.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's so true, Gia. So true.
All right,
Well,
ladies and gentlemen.
I remember when Claire told me she wanted to get into fitness, I said, so you want to go up on stage in a bikini for everybody? I said, I don't know. Let's go watch this. And when I went to watch one of these shows, I noticed there was nothing physical about it
Sexual.
or sexual about it. It wasn't about that at all. It was about building your body, building the shape, building the muscle,
Yeah.
and it wasn't sexual at all. you know. So
And the
I'm
ones
okay
that
with that.
did try to make it sexual, they would get penalized. You know, the girls that would do
Yes.
the showing the hamstrings and bending over. Like if you don't do the right pose and you try to do it a little naughty, and you'll get dinged.
You're
You'll lose
out.
points for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, or get pulled
they
out.
look down on that 100%. You got to be
Yeah.
real careful with that. And that's even when I was doing a lot of competing and stuff, I tried not to over post about, you know, in a bikini or whatever, because you know, I've got a lot of women that follow me, and
You do have a
and-
large female following. Yes, you do.
yeah, and I love that because I want to help them, but I don't want to, I don't want to offend them either. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's like a fine line there.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You have to have that fun. It's discernment. It comes down to discernment and everything you do. Like I know that you know you love to wear bikinis, but you're not going to wear that in a grocery store, right?
No.
Like you have discernment.
Why
So I
not?
just think it's that. It's like
I
why
mean, it
not?
just
It's
depends.
cute.
Like, you know, what if the grocery store's at the beach and you want to go to the grocery store then the beach and lay out afterwards? You're not
Cover up city.
Like I think it's funny because they'll say stuff like, you know, oh, you shouldn't show your cleavage. Well, I know that, you know, if there's going to be kids around or we're doing something like at a public family event, I'm fully clothed. Like there's discernment involved. Like I'm not walking
Right.
around in a bikini all day, but when it
Right.
comes to social media, that's our stage. That's me and your stage. So what we
Yeah.
post, like you do have to have a little bit of a cycle through to show them that you have more than beauty. And I say that beauty is great, but always show that you have more than that. And that's what I love about your
Yes.
page. You show them that
Yeah.
you are also smart.
You
and
too,
that's where
girl. You
context
too.
matters. Like it's the context of the image, right? Like
Mhm.
it's the context of the outfit. It's not that it has to be in the right context, you know,
Yeah,
right
true.
time and place. You know,
True.
like it's just people just are so retarded
Like I
and they just
said,
wanna,
we all are encouraged and inspired to change if we see something that we want to do. If we're constantly putting
Yes.
down beauty and putting down what's good, then we're not going to want to change. We're not going to want to do better. So
You're right. There's two halves to that. There's the women that are like, ugh, you know, and they scroll, and then there's the other half that are like, oh my God, how do I look like that? Or how do I attain those goals?
and those
You
are the
know,
following. That's the followers I
yes.
want.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Same. It's like, so you got to ask yourself, which one are you?
Exactly. Like that's how me and you know, got in contact because like I saw your stuff and I'm like, this is awesome. Like you do the Red Sonia and all that. I'm like, this is awesome. That's the kind of people I want to be around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then you
I know
know
you
we
do some
want
public
people that
speaking
actually
too. I
want
would
to
love to
like
get into that.
we I think all of us that help people out. We want people that actually want to help themselves.
Yes.
That you know, we don't want to have to sit here and argue with you to try to convince you that you should help yourself. No,
Right.
you if you don't want help, then fine. Go
Mhm.
do what you want to do. But don't complain about us helping other people and helping people improve their lives or get to where they want to be in life. You know,
Right.
just because
Exactly.
you think it's vanity or you think it's this doesn't mean that that's everybody sees that and it's bad for everybody. You
Right.
know. So, but with that being said, we hit the 2 hours. We're gonna wrap it up, you know, and then get in more trouble probably on Twitter. But so
We'll
this
do
has
this
been
again. We'll do this again, Claire.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
yeah,
was awesome
thank
to
you,
meet
Claire
you
and
all.
Randy.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you,
great.
Randy. I actually I'm pleasantly surprised that you're here, Randy, because it's really nice to have a couple for a change,
Well,
you know.
I was pleasantly surprised that you're here too. So we're good.
No, we appreciate you. This was fun. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you,
And we'll
guys.
definitely touch
All
base
right,
about like
thanks.
podcasting or something. If you need help with that, we could definitely assist you with that in the long run. Because we would
Yeah,
love to see your content come out too. We want to hear what you guys got to say.
Mhm.
yeah, I would love to do it. I would love to team up with someone like a practitioner or something, you know, or another fitness person, you know, to like really have like a cool show. But I don't know. Like I said, I just the technical stuff kind of I'm like, ooh.
Well, it's
Sounds
something
like a lot
that
of
we
work.
can
You know
always.
what? We'll do another one with my brother. We'll bring my brother on, and then
Okay.
because I know that would be a really good team up because he's
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a smart. When it comes to fitness, he can go down a rabbit hole. So
Yeah, he is very smart. I follow him as well.
Is that
Yeah,
the
I'm
big
in
guy?
I'm in
Yeah.
his school program. You know, I'm in his school program on the school
yeah,
app. Yeah,
Oh,
he
that's
has
cool.
like his courses are great. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
great courses. But all right, folks, we're actually gonna say goodbye this time. All right.
All
This
right.
is another episode of
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Glenn Lawrence, Jeremiah Cool. Two names ring bells like gun shells drop full.
Yeah. We on sugar coat, now we seasoned with pain. Every bar is real life, not chasing no fame.